Hey everybody, it is me, Captain Energy, and today, boy, have we got some big news. Okay, so this weekend, I put out the first video that I've done on the new MPC Live, which was allegedly coming. Everyone saw the video, or a lot of people saw the video. It was a Canadian company that put the announcement out accidentally. It was a leak, and I've had a few people say that it's not true, it's not real until we see more. Well, guess what? The FCC just got all this information right here. We're going to take a look at some of it, and it is official as of date submitted 3/26. So basically, this has been in the works for a while. Here's some information on the new MPC Live. Let's take a look at some of the photographs and debunk some of the questions I had during the video that I had released. The first one was about someone didn't believe that it was real until they saw the audio output. Well, first of all, here's the measurements. A little bigger than the original, not by too much. They didn't put this corner to corner, but you can get an idea roughly of the size here. A few people have said they don't like this little divider here, the little, dotted lines. There is a reason for that. We'll go over that in a minute here. It does look like the sequencer's up here. I would say about the same thickness as the current Live. All right, so first, on the bottom, the question I had was, can you still insert a hard drive in this? Yes, there's a plate right here to insert a hard drive. We can see the back here even of this, so now we kind of get an idea of what some of these ports are. This has 2 MIDI channels, so you'll be able to hook up 2 external instruments, or 32 channels of external instruments. It's got 2 in and out channels, MIDI A and MIDI B, 4 CV gates, 8 actually, it's because this is 1 and 5, this is 2 and 6, 3 and 7, and 4 and 8. Along with the built-in hard drive, then the internal hard drive that you can install the solid-state drive. It also has the ability to add an SD card, so that's like best of all worlds in my opinion right there. We've got 2 USB slots here for other devices, so if you wanted to plug in a USB keyboard, maybe you want to use other additional MIDI devices or additional audio devices, this is where you would do that. Like I was saying to somebody, you could hook up the Focusrite card here and have additional ins and outs, audio ins and outs, or you could have additional MIDI ins and outs by plugging that in here. USB-C right here. I can't tell what this right here is. I'm imagining that's probably a reset of some type. Here's our power supply. We still have a little wall wart type connector. Got a phono in, so this would be if you want to hook up a turntable. That's nice. And we got the grounding here, so you can run your turntable in to avoid that hum that you end up with a lot of times on turntables when they're hooked up. This turns the internal speakers on or off. So if I don't want them on, I can just turn them off. Here we have a master left and right. We have a 3 and 4 and a 5 and 6. So basically we have 6 outs. We have 2 ins, and they are the combination jacks like I described, where we have the 1/4-inch jack and the XLR on the outside. Here's your headphone jack in the back. This thing looks great. And let's take a look at some of the internal pictures. This is pretty cool, I think. Without tearing your brand new device apart, we can kind of see what's going on the inside. Here is where the hard drive goes. Cable's right there. This is the audio board. This board has the processor on it, the internal hard drive. There's the AC adapter right there. This is the USB-C connector right there. This is USB-A type connectors soldered in. Just a little bit of viewing the circuit boards in here. There's part of that drive I was talking about. So you can see the screw that holds it down even right there. It's got a fan in it, so I don't know how noisy that's going to be. That's a heat sink right here in case you're wondering what this is. It's not plastic, even though it looks kind of plasticky. It's actually aluminum. That's going to go over the processor. Here's the processor. Redkin, is that the name? I can't read it upside down. But that's the processor. See here, RF chip. So this is what's driving the... usually when they say RF, it's to do with a screen display type thing. Not sure if that is what it is, but here's the drive. Okay, I was talking about that earlier. Here's the drive. It's the 128 gig drive that they were talking about putting in there. And we don't really need to look at that too close because it's just a standard drive with very few chips because it's only 128 gig. Normally the smallest PC ones you'd find these days are 256. Okay, this is the new battery, which may be the same as the old battery. I'm not sure. It's a bundled cells. It looks like it will be easily replaceable. It's not soldered, connected by connectors right there. Probably just going to be tied in or glued onto the board, or to not to the board, but to the case somewhere. Somehow it shouldn't be a problem to replace that. So that is kind of a user replaceable part, it looks like. That's nice. There's the new antenna, very tiny. Another view of the front side of the antenna. Here are some of the different other boards. Here we go. This one's a bunch of other buttons. Here's your screen. But here we are. This is the part that I wanted to get to right here. This is inside the unit. This is one of the boards that I wanted to be sure that I looked at. This is the pad receiver board. Now, if you look at this, it's interesting because it looks as though these are different LEDs. I'm not sure if they could be different colors or not, but based on the copper pattern underneath, the way that velocity sensitivity and pressure sensitivity works, it looks as though we have 4 zones per pad, and that would make sense why we have that divided image on the pads, because it looks like we're going to have 4 areas where we can slide our finger around the button, and maybe we can add different LFO type controls or different like an XY pad on every button. And that will be kind of amazing for controlling your sound and making some really cool, unique sounds with your MPC. And Charles, this is the last one. This is the screen actually with the control wire coming off of it. The screen's actually mounted in this part right here. Little on the control board for the screen. Here's the front. There's the SD card, and there are the CV slots. Alright, here's the sequencer buttons. And there are the quick link knobs. As you can see, the construction's really nice. I see metal shafts on the controllers. That's unusual. Most of these are plastic these days. So the construction on this thing is pretty nice. And here's something you'll probably never get the chance to see in real life, is the initial setup of this unit. This is the first time it's been set up for testing. Hooked up to a computer in a testing room, microphone testing levels and whatnot. So that's about the size. You can get a pretty good idea right there. It's about the same size. The area that it covers is going to be about the same as a notebook. Now what size notebook we don't know, but 15-inch notebook or so. Here we are. This is one of those, if you've never been in one of these rooms are crazy. I'm not sure if this is like the one that we used to have over at Apollo Computer, but they had these giant foam cones, and when you walked in, the air was so still that it actually hurt your ears. It was for FCC testing, probably along the same lines there. So guys, so it looks like this will be here pretty soon. Last time we saw this type of information leaked, or not leaked, but available, was about a month away from the release of the Key 37. This could be it, man. Might be here by Christmas. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this thing really soon. If you like the video and have any questions, hit me up, or have any comments. Don't forget to, say something in the comments so people can get a conversation going. I think this is going to be amazing. I'm pretty excited at this point for this. I also think that once we see this, we will start to see the new software, and yeah, good things coming. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.